Okay, so there is an explanation for this video, and I know people are going to be asking, is this part 5 of movies of 2018? No, it's not. It is a separate video, movies of 2019, as referred to the title of the video, movies of 2019, as in this is an anticipated films list, and part 2 will come out next year. I know, that's weird, that's funky, but I decided to do this anyways because I think it'd be interesting for part 2 to look back a year ago and say, oh wow, that movie was worth the hype, or it wasn't worth the hype. Let's just get started from the very beginning. This is a film I already saw, Glass. I was a little disappointed in this film. I still enjoyed parts of it. I like James McAvoy, I like Samuel Jackson. I didn't really care about Bruce Willis. I guess that's more of a review of that film, even though I already did it. The reason why I was anticipating this film was for the obvious reason of I really loved Unbreakable and I really liked Split, so I guess I had to finish it.
If you like Unbreakable and Split, well then you gotta finish it. It's the last film and you saw the first two, so why not see the third?
Yeah, at the time of this recording, only Glass has come out, so the rest of the films on this list, it should be more legit. The Lego Movie 2, the second part, I heard there are good reviews for this film. I'm obviously looking forward to this. Of course, I've been looking forward to this film primarily because I really love the first Lego Movie. I love Chris Miller and Phil Lord. They've done excellent films. Even if they're not directing them, they still write really good films. I mean, the Spider-Man movie wasn't directed by them, but they wrote it, and look how that movie turned out. Don't know where they're gonna bring this second film, but hopefully I end up enjoying it. How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. This is supposed to be the conclusion to the trilogy of course, How to Train Your Dragon. And so I really love the first two films, and I'm interested to see how they end this trilogy. Again, I hear this got good reviews, so again, I'm of course looking forward to this film. Again, don't know how they're going to conclude this trilogy, but it does seem interesting enough, so of course, I'm gonna see it. Captain Marvel, I can see why people are not excited for this film, but for me personally, I'm very excited for this film, but I do get it, because the trailers are underselling this film. I think it's one of the worst marketing that Marvel has done, maybe since Homecoming, but I am very excited for this film because it is the dawn of a new era. You know how Iron Man started this 10-year story arc? That's gonna be what this movie is. That's what I hope anyways. I'm really looking forward to Captain Marvel, but I really hope that it's better than what the trailers are giving us, because it just kind of looks like another superhero film. I'm really hoping that's what we're not gonna get, because you got two of the most underrated directors, Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. They directed Half Nelson and Mississippi Grind, and you got one of the most talented actresses, Brie Larson. So I can't see this film not being good. If it's just fine, of course I'm gonna be disappointed. Us, which is directed by Jordan Peele, I didn't exactly love Get Out, but I did appreciate it a lot. I did really like it. So I'm looking forward to what Jordan Peele has to offer with this film. Yeah, I also really loved that trailer. That trailer was so good. I wouldn't say it looks like scary, but it looks like it is a fun horror film, I'll say that. Of course, we got Avengers Endgame, which is one of my 4 anticipated films of the year. Avengers Endgame, I think it's obvious why everyone's excited for this film, because after the cliffhanger that was in the ending of Infinity War, we're interested to see how everything just kind of ends with Endgame. Really interested to see how this 11-year story arc ends. I guess this whole thing is bittersweet because the last time we're gonna see Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, last time we're gonna see Chris Evans as Captain America, last time we're gonna see Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I'm just really interested to see where this film goes. John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. I really like the first 2 John Wick films. I mean, I really like the first John Wick. I liked the second John Wick film. I didn't love it or anything. I just thought the story was a little bit lacking. I did like the cliffhanger to Chapter 2 enough to be interested in this film. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino. This is one of the 4 most anticipated films of the year for me. I love Quentin Tarantino. I'm so interested to see Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt act opposite of each other. That is a really interesting pair. I really can't wait to see this film. It also takes place in LA back in 1969, and I love and hate LA at the same time, so it's interesting. So this movie is going to be more personal to me than anything else. This movie also has Al Pacino, which I didn't know that until just a few days ago, so I'm like even more excited for this film. Midsommar, directed by Ari Aster. I loved Hereditary, so of course I'm interested to see where Ari Aster does next. Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix. I love Joaquin Phoenix, and that's the only reason why I'm actually really excited for this film. Joaquin Phoenix is one of the best working actors today, so naturally I'm excited for a film where he's one of the best comic book villains and portraying it on screen. Honestly, if it were any other actor, I would have just avoided this film. Knives Out, directed by Rian Johnson. Okay, look, people hate The Last Jedi. I get it. Guess what? I don't care. I really like Rian Johnson's work, and I'm really glad that he's going back to this style of filmmaking. He's going back to his old school route. The days when he was doing Brick and Looper. I do love The Last Jedi. I'll be honest, I do. But I was afraid that Rian Johnson was never gonna go back to his old school style of filmmaking. He does have that French style of filmmaking that I really like. I was afraid that he was gonna go the Christopher Nolan route, and apparently he's not. He's going back to his own old ways of filmmaking. I'm really excited for that. Also has a really good cast. It has Chris Evans, Toni Collette, Lakeith Stanfield, Daniel Craig. This movie is getting the all-star treatment, and I couldn't be more excited for this film. Call of the Wild, directed by Chris Sanders, who co-directed Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon. This is the first time he's directed by himself, so I'm interested to see that. The Irishman, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci. It reunites those three actors into this one film, and I am so excited. Robert De Niro hasn't worked with Martin Scorsese since Casino. Al Pacino hasn't worked with Martin Scorsese like ever, and so this is an interesting collaboration, and I'm really interested to see where this goes. Martin Scorsese said this is unfinished business with Robert De Niro, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. That sounds interesting. I mean, I think that phrase alone, I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Jojo Rabbit, directed by Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi plays as Hitler. And I think I'll leave it at that. Parasite, directed by Joon-Ho Bong. Joon-Ho Bong is finally directing another Korean film, I think after 10 years. Waves, directed by Trey Edward Schultz. This is a musical. Yeah, the same guy who directed the best horror film of 2017. Yeah, he's making a musical. Sounds legit to me. Uncut Gems, directed by the Safdie brothers. I really loved Good Time, and so I'm really interested to see what the Safdie brothers do with this film. It stars Adam Sandler, which honestly, if I just heard the name Adam Sandler, I would have been like, oh no. But Safdie brothers, come on, it's the Safdie brothers. Bad Education, directed by Corey Finley. This film I'm really excited for. I really like Thoroughbred, so naturally I'm excited for this film. I'm really excited to see where Corey Finley's career goes. Star Wars Episode 9 is one of 4 most anticipated films of this year. In fact, I'll just go ahead and say it. This is my most anticipated film of the year. I am very, very excited to see where this film goes. After Episode 8, I don't know where this film is going. And the thing is, this is the ending to the Skywalker series. The series that started in 1977 is now ending 42 years later, and honestly, it's very bittersweet. And I get it, if you're not fond of the sequel trilogy, you don't have to be excited for this film. You can hate Episode 7 and Episode 8 as much as you want. I've loved Star Wars ever since I was a kid. I remember watching Episode 3 when I was, I think, 6 or 7 years old, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And just progressively, we're now down to this moment, I think 12 years later, and I'm like, it's over. This series is over. Of course they're gonna pump out more Star Wars films, like Rian Johnson's gonna make his trilogy, and the writers of Game of Thrones are gonna make their movie. I don't even know if they're gonna make another trilogy or whatever, because the Skywalker saga, it means so much to so many people, and now this series is ending. So all these characters from the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, the sequel trilogy, all that is it just ends right here. So yeah.